Hello, hello. Welcome to this live stream and my channel here, the Banking Whistleblower, or yeah. So first time doing a live on YouTube. Okay, so bear with me. Um, One disclaimer here about this channel, about this live stream. I want to share my story on my journey of the banking system in the United States, which is a broad topic, includes credit reporting, contracts, laws, equity, and none of this is meant to be advice or counseling. I just see a lot of people on YouTube sharing great information, and there's, as the expression goes, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and a lot of us don't, most of us, I would say, don't learn a lot that we need to know going through public school and university and so on. And it really ends up having biting us um, down the line. Uh, if you're like me, you've made mistakes and you've had to learn the hard way, and there's a lot of risk in not knowing what you're doing. So, so hopefully, my intention is that I can share my knowledge on this channel, share my story and my experiences, and that will hopefully cut down on uh, some of someone else's learning curve, and help other people just navigate the banking financial system. And it's a tough road, you know and we are making contracts all the time, right? If you're buying a car, if you're um, purchasing a mortgage, opening up a credit card account, or a deposit account, checking account, you know um, these are all contracts and obligations that we know nothing about. We don't understand them. They're written by lawyers for lawyers, and it's just an unfair it's an unleveled playing field. So just I'll get into my story. uh, I'll start with, in 2011. That was when I first was really in a bad financial spot where I needed to use my credit, and I didn't have good credit at the time. I didn't even understand credit at all, and I had some collections on my credit reports, and I didn't know what to do with them. I was trying to get a loan for a car, and I was working at a company selling personal development seminars, and there was a guy who did sort of credit repair that I met there, and he helped me do some work to fix my credit. And he explained to me some of the debt collection uh, rights I had, debt collection laws, and how I can negotiate with debt collectors for a lesser amount, and that's what we did. And so I got the accounts removed off my credit report, and so that taught me a couple of things. Um, and then fast forward, in 2019, I needed to fix my credit again because I made some mistakes, which I'll talk about in more depth, probably in another video. But I had to fix my credit again, Only this time I was working part-time at a law firm and kind of had an attorney take me under his wing and teach me some things about arbitration, and and so I had to study again about more in depth on credit repair laws and things. So I fixed my credit again for the second time, and once I fixed my credit, I was a little bit older now in 2019, and realized, wow, there's so much that we don't learn in school that we need to know. And I want to help other people learn this information too. I want to share this information. And so I started to do that. And I started a credit repair business on the side, just helping friends and family, posting on Facebook, social media, what I was learning. And I ended up helping a lot of people, and that was very rewarding. So yeah, so I've been around banking and contracts and consumer law, in one form or capacity, or in one capacity or another since 2011. So that's about 15 years now, and I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still reading a lot, because you got to figure there's the credit reporting. No, I'm sorry. When it comes to banking, you've got the banking laws, you've got contract laws, you have, dispute resolution, you've got the court procedures, depending on, where you live, what county and state you live in. Um, you've got state laws versus federal, and you have securitization, and you have debt collection laws, state or federal, credit reporting, some credit reporting laws, state versus federal. There's the IRS code, um, and so it gets, it gets very, it goes very deep, and it's a lot for one person to understand and comprehend, because a lot of the information is compartmentalized. So, so being autodidactic myself, meaning, being self-taught, I've, been able to, I feel, progress more than other people, where our system, we're taught to be specialized in one area, which is great. I'm more of a jack of all trades, uh, I guess you would say. And that expression, jack of all trades, master of none? Well, there's actually a second part to that expression that we usually don't hear. And I'll just share it with you. It's a jack of all trades and master of none, although many times better than a master of one. So it's good to be a master of, and know one thing very well, but oftentimes, in life, we have to deal with many things, and we need to learn to pivot and to adapt to the changing world. So it's important that you will have a general knowledge of many things, and school, as you know, our education system doesn't teach us much of anything, really. So, and I love to read. I don't know about you, but I love to read, and I didn't always love to read. That's something I had to work on. But there's a book I highly recommend for those of you out there who enjoy learning and unlearning. And it's a book by a guy named John Gatto, and it's called Dumbing Us Down. He wrote two books, Dumbing Us Down and Weapons of Mass Instruction. And he really explains in great detail. He's a great historian, researcher. He's passed now, but he wrote these books that were really explained how the education system that we know today came about and how it works and what the real intention was behind our education system to essentially turn us all into drones, and basically, follow orders and so on. Things you probably already know. Anyway, those are great books. Highly recommend them. So this is what my channel is about, and what I'll be sharing more on is specifically what I've learned about the accounting for the transactions that are tethered to the contracts we've agreed to in as consumers with the big banks and the the account reporting that comes along with that, debits and credits, securitization, and just how to navigate all that. And uh, I don't have anything against the banks. I just, I can just see how they have an unfair advantage against us because of our ignorance. And what we need is more people out here telling the truth, sharing their knowledge and experience, because there's so much misinformation, and some of it seems to be on purpose. But I just feel compelled. It's my responsibility. It's like a duty of mine to uh, speak my truth, share what I've seen, what I've learned, and help uplift other people who, I've been lucky to have mentors in my life, and there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of people for us to look up to in society, you know. And we all can use a positive role model in our life, someone that will speak the truth that we can count on. And even though you don't know me personally, whatever I say, you can fact check for yourself and verify, and you should. Don't just follow blindly or trust what someone says without doing your own research, because when it comes to your finances and your obligations and contracts, if you need to be able to stand on your own 2 feet and stand on your own knowledge and uh, be accountable and responsible for your own decisions, and knowing the source of the information that you act on, right? um, God forbid if you ever have to go to court, you know you want to stand on your square and know what you're talking about, and just know the who, what, when, and why. um, Super important, super important. I've listened to a lot of people that didn't know what they were talking about, and it it cost me. And there's a lot of great marketers out there, and we want the easy answer, we want the easy solution, we want someone to tell us what to do. And that's just that's part of the indoctrination that happens in school. Is we want someone we want permission to think, we want permission to do this or that, And it's not easy to break out of that mold and that conditioning because it happens at such a young age. And so that's my suggestion. That's my opinion is whatever I say on this channel, fact check for yourself, and we should always do that. Okay, it's called dialectic. Well, it's part of dialectic thinking that we would consider both, the pros and cons, and 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 think critically about the information we're hearing, and that's it. So thanks so much for watching this. I'm going to hop off and do another live soon and upload some videos soon. And thanks so much again. Take care.